Maybe later the rest will join us. Okay, so good evening once again. My name is Ebenezer, and today I'll be your host for today's program. And then I'm here with Ebenezer Boachi being my co-host, and then Ebenezer Kote being my co-host, and then Boachi being another panelist. And okay, so last week is quite unfortunate we couldn't meet, but this week I'm glad we are meeting, and I'm very excited for us getting time to discuss and then bring out our views on certain issues that are currently going on in our lives and then in the country as well. Okay, so our first question for the day is hustle culture in Ghana destroying men's mental health? For example, young men working multiple jobs in Accra and Kumasi, sleeping in kiosks and unfinished houses just to make it. So this is our main topic for the day. Okay, so any of you can start with a question. Any of you can start with a question. Okay, so before any of you take the question, when we say mental health, it refers to the emotional, psychological, and social well-being of a person. So it affects how a person think, feel, and act, especially when you handle stress and other related issues or choices. So that is mental health. Okay, I can see Ebenezer Korte, you have something to share with us. So please go up.
Okay, so first of I believe men do go through a mental breakdown though, but then I don't know if people have to pay much attention to that, or what do you think? Do you think men who have still have time to like go through emotional trauma and all that?
I think we still have men who go through emotional trauma.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
men, yeah. Just that you wouldn't see it as loudly as in ladies or in women, okay? But we have men who go
Yeah.
through a lot.
So like how it's affecting their what? Their how hustling is affecting their mental health.
Yes, yes. How is hustling in Ghana destroying men's mental health? How is it affecting their mental health?
Okay, since there's pressure, societal pressure on men, like men are generally like seen to be the breadwinner of the family. You have to possess something, you have to possess wealth and all that before you could even venture into marriage. Like you'll be respected and all this stuff. So like I think with all these factors coming together, it's us to dawn on the man to find something to do. That means that boils down to him hustling for something. So I think all this kind of questions on manhood bring all sorts of emotional trauma and breakdowns, which at the end results in a very bad condition of the person's mental state.
Okay,
As
okay.
in,
But
like,
are you aware we have some young men who are working who are doing multitasking in
oh
Accra and
yeah,
Kumasi, in
yeah,
Koforidua, other big towns and countries?
yes. I know as people do office work and then when they come back from when they do Uber. Like I've had encounter with one on campus before. Like they work in the during the day and then at night they have Uber to operate. So at the end they are kind of double hustling to make ends meet and then they have families to fend. So with all these pressures, like the man will be always thinking about what to do next, like to have more to feed the family, and then as is expected, yeah, as a man, they have to have money and all those stuff. I think boils down to men having all this kind of trouble because every day you're thinking of what you don't want your family to starve, you don't want your family to lack basic necessities and all those stuff. So like you have to go the extra mile, and then you have to think. You always have to be thinking, overthinking, and overthinking it. Like it's just affecting men's mental health, and then that needs to be sought after. There should be things like that should be considered. Yeah, because like overburden on men is just not. It's just too much. Like, seriously. The men is supposed to do this, men are supposed to take care of the wife, men are like it's just a lot. So, like I think it boils down with them having mental breakdowns and stuff.
Oh, okay, okay, thank you. What so please does multitasking pose a bad threat or a bad health effect to men?
Good evening. That's a lovely
Yeah,
question.
good evening, my man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here this evening. Unfortunately, couldn't make it last week, but we are back. Hmm.
Yes, yes.
So, the hustle culture, in a nutshell, is glorifying long works and constant productivity, so that in a way men can make it. And I have also been in that same bracket before. Some time ago, I used to work both day and night, but I couldn't bear the pressure. Yes, I found myself lacking during the day and also in the night, even and falling asleep. So this is a serious issue in which affects young men today, and even a little those who are much older a little. They have to double tax. So indeed, it's
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a mental health issues on men, and it has to be addressed.
Sure, I agree with you. I've been in your shoes before. You know, multitasking is not easy. Sometimes when you stay awake during the night and you work through the night and during the day too, you go to another different place to work. You know, you feel so dizzy, very tired. You you feel uncomfortable. And sometimes
That's
you even go to an extent of dozing off or sleeping at the other workplace.
exactly.
It's not easy. And when you also say that you're going to do one job to that one too, it comes with another question.
Mm.
Don't you think so?
Just
Because
one
maybe where
single
you are
job.
coming from, maybe where you are coming from, the support there is less. You need to fight for yourself to also help your siblings, the younger ones, also get on their feet.
That is true. That is true. That's the viewpoint of many. But they should also realize that physical and emotional drain is not going to have a positive effect on the future. If we force ourselves now and then during the activities it shorten our lifespan, then what is going to be the effect of the future? Because as we constantly work, it leads to us burning out physically, emotionally, and mentally. And if we were to be behind the wheel and we lose our focus, it may lead to an accident or even walking,
Yes, that is true.
and then
Yes.
we lose our we will fall and get hurt, and that will lead to
Mhm.
another issue. So it
So,
must be addressed
so in
seriously.
yeah, so what in a nutshell, as we are doing our multitasking, we need to pay a crucial attention to our health. You know, our health should be our priority. Because if you don't have the energy, the ability to carry on your daily activity, then there's going to be a big problem for you. So once you engage in multiple jobs or multiple activities, you need to also give the body the needed rest. Yes, yes. Okay, now have you realized that, some people or some of the young men travel from their town to this urban areas to search for greener pasture, and to the extent of sleeping in kiosks and uncompleted buildings, and sometimes you even see some of them lying on the streets. I don't know whether you've observed it. If there is a tree by the roadside, they will be perching under the tree. Have you noticed that?
Can I
Yeah.
answer that?
Yeah, you can come in. Then when you are done, then Ebenezer will come in for us. Then move to the next topic. So kindly go on.
Okay, so I have noticed that many men or many young adult men move from their where they were born and they come to the town. So in my area, most of the Northerners come here to do work. They are very hardworking though, yes. But the work they do, they don't get as much as it will sustain them. But when they come here, they also have family members that they usually stay with. But those who don't then tend to perch under bridges, under trees, under kiosks, and so on.
Okay, so Ebenezer Kote. So looking forward, these sleeping in uncompleted buildings and then this little kiosk, what do you suggest can be some of the solution to curb this situation, so that we wouldn't see much of the people or most of the people sleeping on the roadside or in a kiosk or in any uncompleted structure?
Okay, that boils down to the government doing more of developmental projects in these places that these people usually come from. I think most of them they lack basic amenities, the social amenities and all those stuff. Like and there's this misconception that there's milk and honey in the cities, in the urban centers. So you see um oh, old men and then like they go to the city. Those who that means that's the people who come to the city to hustle and then get something. When they go back to their towns, then you see the elderly people saying that, oh, have you seen this person? Hey, when he went to Accra or something, he has not gotten money. Look at how he's posing the stuff. So that informs, it's like a spread of a fire, like it spreads to the whole town. So then people start to, oh, like, oh, then there's milk and honey in Accra actually, but they don't know the real hustle over here. So I think you need to do sensitizations and all those stuff, educate people, provide jobs for them, like yeah, provide a lot of provide jobs so that and then they should sit down and then plan. They should analyze the condition that's making these people flee from their humble abodes to Accra to face all the slums and then this kiosks on the streets and all this stuff. So I think it boils down to a government doing something, then the chiefs of the town, the chiefs of the various townships, so also do something. It shouldn't be always the government, but then the chief and then the individual, like you and me, you can all like try to do something to curb this. But okay, so
Okay, thank you very much, Ebenezer Kote. So that was a nice suggestion. So I also think that, when the governments come in, they can put up some hostel for those who have traveled from different places um, to come and hustle in Accra, being it Koforidua or being it any town. Okay, now these facilities are going to accommodate these people with affordable price. Okay, so that they wouldn't be sleeping in the kiosks and then in uncompleted buildings and then sometimes sleeping on the street. I think that will also help what reduce such situation on the street. And
Well,
any
yeah,
individual who is also willing to yeah, come in.
you're right. But then, how many facilities are they going to get? Would it be like like because they will pay something. Let's boil down to like normal Ghanaian mentality, like Ghana man mentality. Like instead of him to pay and then live in a hostel, like he would just prefer to sleep on the streets where he's not being taxed anything, like he's not paying light and all those stuff. Like I don't know if you get it, or it will still be it will still be a good project though. But then I don't know if it will be continued. Like if the previous government can, will it continue it, and then how many hostels are they going to do? Because if we are saying we are capturing the homeless people, like people sleeping just in Accra alone, like it's a huge sum of number. And then are they going to build hostel for everybody?
Well, I think that will in a way help by if not getting a lot of hostel for most of the people, at least the little that the government or any other NGO can put up can help reduce those situation on the streets. Because sometimes when you see, I don't know whether you've seen a very nice gentleman. Okay, the person looks so attractive, and you see him lying on the streets, and sometimes it's so pity, so sad.
Oh yeah, so that
Yeah.
means we can't keep citizen and then all this land, but then we can reduce it. Like reducing it will
Yes,
help because
we can
we can't
reduce it.
totally
Yeah.
cure. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you all for your contribution. So our next subtopic is how does societal pressure in Ghana contribute to men's participation in hustle culture? How does societal pressure in Ghana contribute to men's participation in hustle culture? Okay, Boache, please take this one for us. Then we come to Ebenezer.
Okay, so societal pressures or societal expectations, they expect the men to often be the providers. Yes, the men are the ones who are supposed to bring something to the table. So if so sorry for that. So if the men are not able to live up to such expectation, then let's say that if one person makes it, then others begin to say, why can't you make it? Can't you be like Asumesi, who is hustling in the city and making it? And we have this notion or this mentality has been in our movies since the 90s and the early 2000s. We see the people in the village pack their Ghana must go, move to the city with everything they have that they are going to hustle and make it. And sometimes it doesn't end well. So indeed, societal pressures is one of the motivating factors for young men trying to make it. Thank you.
Yeah, Eben, please, what do you also say on this?
Hello.
Yeah, Eben.
Yeah. Is it the hustle? So how is it?
So how does societal pressure in Ghana
Okay.
contribute to men's participation in hustle culture?
Okay.
That's the subtopic.
Okay. As I said earlier, like there's much expectation. The society expects expect a lot of things from the Ghanaian man. Like you have to have money, and then if you have money, you know that it will yield respect for you. Like you know, these people that have money, like in the society, they see them as high, they hold them in high esteem and all those stuff. So like seeing this, like it's kind of uh, putting men at the forefront of hustling. Like they need to hustle and get money. Like you have to get money so that people like you see that and like what's the kind of there might be a who needs there like slow that kind of thing and all those stuff like who needs boo and all those stuff. So like the hustling culture kind of that's the only option. That's the option that's left to men to do. Like they just have to hustle, make it. Like if you hustle and then make it, you know that society will kind of accommodate you. Like unlike when you don't have money, and then you see it goes the other way around. People will not even look your way. Like even our family guardians, they will not regard you. You see, like you'll be doing a whole lot of stuff for family gardens and all this stuff. But those that have money and then they give money and all this stuff, you see that even if they don't come to the meeting and then they send money, they respect them more than you that you are present at the garden and then you are overworking and all this stuff. They don't regard you. So that in that case, like it has put society has put men at the forefront of hustling. Like you have to hustle, 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 hustle to make money. So that's my opinion about that. That's my opinion about the question.
Yeah, you are all right. You are on point. Now let's think of something. Do you guys also think that social media, I mean, play a role in this matter? You know, platforms like the Instagram, the Snapchat, the TikTok, you know, they have also become channels where people showcase what. Okay, so the young men will feel what pressured to keep up with appearance. Okay, they also try to, I mean, do something forcefully to also what showcase their worth. Don't you think so?
Oh yes, 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 yeah. Right. Because people are flaunting cars, like they're flaunting money and all this stuff. So, like you see that society kind of they push you to hustle. You have to hustle. That's when people go the legal ways and then illegal ways to like all they are trying all the rules to get money. At the end of the day, like if you have money and all this stuff, they respect you and stuff. So like seeing the recent birthday party of the 40-year-old man, businessman recently, that was last 2 months or so. I think it has kind of kind of start conversation around this same issue. Like obviously, like society regards him, has regarded him, and all this stuff. He has gotten more exposure and stuff. So that means that like when you have money and all this stuff, like if people regard you, they respect you, like they give you domination and or they give you power. Like having money, like who is Kadia, like who to me, like I don't know how to say it. Obi always can be had the wood to me like and stuff. Like
Uh, this
it,
these days is money that talks.
your money is your power.
Your
That's
money
it.
will
Your money,
determine
your
your
power.
power. Uh, so
Your
as
money
Sarkodie said in one of his song, he said that Uniska then we are maniti.
is
So that's it. Okay, so let's move on to our next subtopic. How does hustle culture affect men's personal relationships and their family life in Ghana? So how does hustling affect men's personal relationship and then family life? Okay, Boache, please start with us.
Okay, thank you for the question. So the hustle, 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 hustle Now, it's possible to have effects on a relationship, which is true. Because if such a person works for long hours and he doesn't see any results, or puts in all his efforts and is not making it as he thought he would, it's definitely going to have an impact on his relations, either with his family members or with his significant other. And this all has to do with his mental well-being. It may lead to him isolating himself or even putting himself more into the work, which would damage relationship or even weaken any support system he has left. So for this to be addressed, then the person in question who is doing the hustling should find time. Yes, he should not devote all his time to hustling. He should find time to connect and reconnect with those around him. Because if care is not taken, he will hustle alone and he will go to his grave alone. That should not be the case.
Okay, thank you very much, Boche. Okay, so Eben, I think you are having some technical issue at your place. So please, as you've joined us, what are your thoughts on this question? How does hustling affect young men, or how does it affect your personal relationship and your family life? You are working 24, hour every day, seeing moving up and down without giving your personal attention or without giving time to your family members, your friends, your loved ones. How does it affect them and you?
Okay, so I think we've heard stories about multitasking and then double hustling, like people working during the day and then in the evening too that they try to make ends meet. So with that being said, they don't really have time to make friendship. Like, oh, sometimes you could meet some people and then oh, me who watch you, like me who watch you, not anything. Like you don't. Sometimes they even barely be on their phones. You see, like sometimes you normally it will be hard for you to get them. Your phone go through all right too, but then sometimes they don't return your calls and stuff. So one way or the other, they might feel lonely, and then like although you are busy and all this stuff, it feels lonely sometimes. So I think this kind of affect relationships because I'm not hearing from this person again. Also, like oh, that it brings this connection between you and then people, your loved ones and stuff. Like I think as soon as taking much of people's time and then it should be looked into. Maybe you just make a timetable like oh maybe this evening I'm calling all my friends and then and try to catch up with them and the stuff. But then if we keep hassling and forgetting about friends and all this stuff, it kind of creates a whole misconception that this connection between us and our loved ones, like we lose them, which is not very, which is not really advisable to do that. That's what I believe.
All what you said is right. Okay, now let's move on to our other main topic. So, can Ghanaian men and women truly be just friends without pressure? Can Ghanaian men and women truly be just friends without pressure? Now, for example, in places like university campus, society often assume a male-female friendship must be romantic or sexual. Even peers may gossip or pressure them to make it official. And I see this topic to be an interesting one. And I believe we've all, heard a similar story or a similar issue during our school time. So I'll start with Ebenezer. So what are your thoughts on this?
Hello, is that please come again? My connection is so bad.
Okay, so can Ghanaian men and women truly be just friends without pressure? So, for example, in places like university campus, society often assumes a male-female friendship must be romantic or sexual. Even peers may gossip or pressure them to make it official.
Oh yes, I don't platonic friendship, like friendship, female and female friendship is so rare. Like if you see people working together and doing all those stuff, that's when you see they tell you people as couples and then they start giving you names, husband and wife, like and all those stuff. Like it's just gives this misconception that once people are going together, people are a man and then a female is doing they are often doing activities together and then stuff. They assume that you guys are couples because they believe that couples do everything together and stuff. But then it's far from that. We have platonic friendship, like where we have male and then a female being friends and then trying to do everything together and then enjoy it. But looking at how society has structured things, like it makes normal friendships seems so different. Like it portrays them
So,
that
so how how
people.
how do you feel? How do you feel when your colleague or maybe when someone close to you, I mean, sees you with you working with a lady and they tag you, I mean, or they call you, oh, this person is having an affair or this person is dating this lady. How do you feel? I mean, those kind of names they give out. How do you feel?
Yeah, I just feel like oh, that's what they will see because no matter what how you explain things, you go about like telling them anything. That it will still be the same narrative that has been put into the minds that um, um, when you see a male and a female working together and doing all this, and they assume that you're couple. So like sometimes you just have to explain it to some few people, like which you feel like they should know about things, and then they should get to know that it's not that way. So like I feel like they should just say what they want to. You even if you try explaining everything, they still have this gun mentality that oh they are dating and dating and stuff. Yeah.
I believe they will tell you you go explain Taya.
Yeah, we don't see, but you go later.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Baje, please, what are your thoughts on this too?
Okay, sorry. Since my mic was unmuted, right?
Yes, your mic was
Uh,
muted.
yes, I was reading some an article on the internet. It was very funny. I had to laugh. Sorry for that. The uh, pressure. Please the question again if you can repeat it.
Okay, so the question is can Ghanaian men and women truly be just friends without pressure? So there is an example here. University cycles when platonic friendship are being doubted by society and even peers. I hope you clearly get the question. Hello, Bache.
Hello.
Please, did you get the question well? Did you get the question well?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me at your end?
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so men and women can be friends. Yeah, I can hear you. So should I answer the question now?
Go on. You can go on.
So okay, so men and women can be friends. That is true. However, there will be pressures around them. Truly, they can be friends, but people around them are going to pressure them, just as you said. They are going to doubt their friendships. They are going to claim that, oh, they are really in a relationship. However, they claim to be just friends. That is very hard to convince someone that you are just friends with such a person. Yes, that is how the society has made it, that you have to be in a intimate relationship with somebody, and being only friends is something that's not possible. That's how I see it. But truly, they can be just friends. However, it is the people around that who doubt it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too. Okay, our last topic for the day will be, why are platonic friendships between different genders often viewed with suspicion in university settings? Why are platonic friendship between different genders often viewed with suspicion in university settings? Okay, so Wachi, you can go ahead. You can go
Okay.
ahead when you are done there. Even or
Yes.
coming.
Just as the question said, suspicion, raising of eyebrows. Yes. When someone is just friend with someone, it raises some questions. When I was in school, high school, I used to see a lot of male and female walking about, talking nicely, um, being friends. But whenever they come to class, the boys will be like, "Hey, Alpha, this your friend." This, then they'll start calling her our wife and this and this.
Hey, I
So
said me for boss.
at such a young age, they start referring to the other female as someone who is in a relationship. However, they are just friends. Maybe the girl even doesn't see the boy in such a light. However, it raises suspicion, and that carries on until university and other fields, even in workplace. A male and female can be very good friends. They share the same values, the same beliefs, the same upbringing. However, people read meaning into that. It's something that has eaten deep into the bones of society, that it will take a long time before people can just come to understand that male and female can be just friends. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. That is true. Yes. So back in those days when we were in school, okay, most especially with our male friends, they will tease you a lot when they see that you are continuously moving with a lady, or you're always close to a certain lady. Then that is where they get you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
you are
That's true.
right. You are right with that. You are right with that. In fact, the pressure they will give it to you. Anytime you are approaching the lady, then you try to recollect those names or those things they be saying to you. I see.
Mm,
Okay,
yeah.
Amen. Please, what do you also say?
I think I said something before about this.
Even
Hello.
come again.
I,
Yes.
I I started before. I talked on this same topic before Boache.
Oh, okay. So can you please
Yeah.
come back with your suggestion? What you said. Can you repeat
Alright.
for us.
I feel like there's nothing to be done when you find yourself in this situation because people have been informed already that when they see two people like doing things together, like they've already informed their minds that oh these people are couples. So like they make platonic relationship kind of not a 10. Like they assume and then they presume you guys are dating, which is so wrong.
Okay, so that's right. That's right. So as you all rightly said, so peer pressure and then gossip culture. So some university cycles are often tight knit. If a guy and a lady are frequently seen together, people start speculating something, spreading rumors that ruin their friendship, and that is very bad. Okay. So I think it is high time people put an end to that. People put an end to that. Okay, they'll when they come out or when you hear from, I mean, the male and the female, when you hear from them that oh yes we are in a relationship, that one is different than when they are of a different perspective altogether. Okay, so I think it is high time we put an end to that. Okay, so we also have sexual tension assumption. So there's a belief that any prolonged male-female closeness might eventually lead to sex, which overshadows the possibility of healthy non-sexual friendship. Yes, and then as both of you said, so there is cultural stereotypes. So in Ghana, it is widely believed that men and women can't be just friends without one developing romantic feelings, especially in youth environments like unis. Yes. So that is it. So this brings us to the end of today's show. So I thank you all for your time, and then if God willing, we will gladly meet again. I hope there is no question, there is no contribution. Is there anything any of us would like to bring it on board?
Oh no, everything is crystal clear. And the discussion was so interesting.
It's clear.
Okay.
It's
Okay, then we meet next week, Wednesday.